No Malaysian links to Sri Lanka attacks detected so far. No decision yet on removal of RON 95 price cap. Good evening, I'm Jessica Lee. Welcome to News on 2. Bukit Aman has yet to ascertain if any Malaysians were involved in the recent terrorist attacks in Sri Lanka. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi Harun said he was aware about talk of terrorist links to Malaysians, but investigations so far have not revealed anything.
Kita juga sedang berhubung dengan agensi-agensi berkaitan sama ada di peringkat domestik atau antarabangsa untuk kita kena pasti rangkaian pihak yang benar-benar terlibat dalam kejadian 6 kejadian pengeboman yang mengorbankan lebih 300 nyawa di Sri Lanka tersebut. Jadi kita sentiasa on alert on this issue lah.
Speaking at a press conference after witnessing the handing over ceremony for the Bukit Aman Narcotics Crimes Investigation Department directed today, Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi said Bukit Aman has so far raised the security alert nationwide following the attacks last Sunday. He said all state police chiefs have been instructed to impose more security measures in the wake of the attacks, adding that security at the Sri Lanka High Commission has also been increased. Meanwhile, a Sri Lankan security dragnet hunting those responsible for the horrifying bombings that claimed more than 350 lives has scooped up a further 18 suspects, police said today, as pressure mounted on politicians to explain why no one acted on intelligence warnings. The government announced there would be sackings in the security forces and police leadership following Sunday's attacks on churches and luxury hotels as the death toll in the suicide blasts rose to 359. Authorities were urgently investigating a claim by the Daesh militant group that it staged what was one of the worst militant strikes on civilians in Asia. Police spokesman Ruwan Gunasekara said the new arrests were made in nighttime raids using emergency powers introduced since the attacks. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said Tuesday that police were hunting for more armed suspects and that further attacks were possible. Police have announced 58 arrests since the bombings on 3 churches and 3 hotels. An attack on a 4th hotel failed. The Malaysian Armed Forces will be equipped with the latest defence technology and the skills to use them in line with the changes on the local and global threats. Deputy Defence Minister Liew Chin Tong says providing weaponry assets alone are not sufficient enough to protect the country.
Dalam perbincangan kita juga mendapati bahawa sekarang ni sebenarnya sistem yang paling penting. Bukan saja senjata semacam perlu, tetapi sistem. Kalau kapal terbang, sistem. Kalau kapal, sistem. Kalau apa saja senjata tu sistem. So untuk industri pertahanan tempatan, selain daripada kita memikirkan industri yang lama, sebenarnya industri baru yang menggunakan teknologi AI, teknologi komputer, teknologi ICT ini diperlukan dan boleh.
Speaking in Parliament at the Federal Capital, Liew noted that discussions regarding the drafting of the Defence White Papers are ongoing with several ministries and agencies before being presented to the Parliament in October. The Kanga Sessions Court today granted Datuk Sri Shaidan Kasim a discharge not amounting to an acquittal over the charge of committing physical sexual assault on an underage girl last October. Judge Ainul Shari Muhammad made the decision in chambers after hearing statements from 3 witnesses, including the victim. Defence Counsel Zamri Ibrahim said the discharge follows the victim's decision to retract her report. He said based on the complainant's decision not to pursue this case, despite 5 witnesses including the complainant having testified, this means that this case is over and the bail has been returned. Earlier, the first witness, Inspector Norzuki Hussain, testified, followed by Inspector Nur Fatah Abdullah. The victim then gave her statement in chambers. The RRMP was charged under Section 14A of the Sexual Offences Against Children's Act 2017, which provides for imprisonment of up to 20 years and whipping if found guilty. Nur Farah Farhan Abdul Fattah was freed from the charge of misappropriation of a sum of money amounting to 15,000 ringgit by the Petaling Jaya Magistrates Court this morning. Magistrate Tuan Nur Arifin Hisham made the decision after the prosecution had failed to establish a prima facie case against 37-year-old Nur Farah. Nur Farah Farhan had earlier been charged of misappropriation of funds against Sarida Sha'ari, 56, involving 15,000 ringgit as payment for a travel package to Morocco and Spain, purportedly scheduled from the 10th until 21st of October 2017. She was accused of committing the offence at the Kelana Jaya CIMB branch on 19th of September 2017. Nur Farah Farhan was represented by her lawyer, Khairul Naim Rafidi. The Kuala Lumpur police successfully crippled a drug distribution syndicate and seized 10 slabs of methamphetamine weighing 10.1 kilograms, estimated to be worth 500,000 ringgit during a raid on the 21st of April. Now, police also arrested 2 suspected couriers, both locals, aged 16 and 24, at Bandar Mahkota Ceras. Kuala Lumpur Police Chief Datuk Seri Mazlan Lazim said the suspects who tested negative for drugs were arrested under Section 117 of the Penal Code, were being detained for 6 days from the 22nd until 27th of April to assist in investigations. Police also seized a Toyota Vios worth 50,000 ringgit during the raid. Preliminary investigations revealed that the drugs were for distribution in Sabah and Sarawak. The case is being investigated under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952, which carries a mandatory death sentence upon conviction. Over 1,000 grams of drugs worth over 70,000 ringgit were successfully seized during an operation conducted by officers from the Taiping Police Headquarters. As a result of the seizure, 2 members of Gang Prabu, believed to be the mastermind behind the crime, were also detained in a separate operation in Aulong, Taiping. Mastermind behind the crime were also detained in a separate operation. Chief ACP Osman Mahmud said all the detainees aged between 20 to 30 were arrested on 19th of April based on intelligence made by officers from the Criminal Investigative Department (CID) of Taiping Police Headquarters. As a result of the arrest, police also inspected a house and found drugs, including heroin and methamphetamine, in a flower pot, along with over 2,000 ringgit in cash in the house.
Untuk makluman, kumpulan ini bergiat aktif dalam proses pengedaran dadah di sekitar kawasan Taiping. Kumpulan ini juga aktif semenjak awal tahun 2018 lagi. Modus operandi dia, kumpulan ini melakukan proses pengedaran dadah sekiranya mendapat panggilan daripada pelanggan dan juga yang akan menentukan tempat untuk pertemuan tu dan untuk proses pengedaran dilakukan.
Speaking at a press conference, ACP Osman said both suspects are currently being remanded and the case is being investigated under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act. If convicted, the accused will be sentenced to life imprisonment and caning. The Region 2 Marine Police Force this morning detained 41 illegal immigrants and a boat skipper or tekong in the waters of Pulau Kukup, Pontian, Johor. Region 2 Commander ACP Paul Q. Kon Chiang, in confirming this, said the immigrants comprised 28 men, 13 women and 1 child who were attempting to exit the country illegally. According to ACP Paul, upon gathering information, the Marine Police team managed to intercept the boat carrying the illegals in a raid under Op Galora. The illegals, aged between 1 and 69, were believed to be on their way to Indonesia to celebrate the coming Ramadan and Aidilfitri with their families back home. The case is being investigated under the Anti-Trafficking in Persons and Anti-Smuggling of Migrants Act 2007 and the Anti-Immigration Act 1959-63, Amendment 2002. And coming up, Tourism Minister shoots down Doraemon idea for Visit Malaysia Promo. Welcome back. Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail says the Cabinet has yet to make a final decision on the removal of the price cap on RON 95 petrol. Referring to media reports on his statement regarding the removal of the price cap, he said RON 95 petrol had been capped at RM2.08 per litre as a government measure to protect the people from being exposed to a high and volatile petrol price. Released today, Datuk Sri Saifuddin said Pakatan Harapan's commitments in its election manifesto were to stabilise the retail price of fuel and implement a targeted subsidy, not to set the retail price of RON 95 petrol at RM1.50 as claimed on social media. He also said measures to stabilise the retail price of fuel have been implemented, adding that the government is committed to implementing the targeted subsidy so that only the needy and eligible benefit from it. The minister further noted that the government is always open to proposals from the people on the implementation of this targeted subsidy so that the intentions and objectives behind this policy are achieved. Tabung Haji says it has plans to rent buildings to accommodate Malaysian pilgrims on a long-term period, especially during the Hajj season. However, no decision has been reached so far as they have to look in detail on any leasing agreement.
Yang pertama ialah bangunan itu sendiri. Bangunan, buat maklumat yang berhormat Senator, kita ada 30,200 iaitu kota jemaah haji. Daripada jumlah ini, 85% merupakan jemaah haji yang mengikut muasasah. Maksudnya, kita perlu penempatan bangunan yang boleh menempatkan jumlah jemaah haji yang mengikuti muasasah ini. Maka kita mesti ambil kira jarak bangunan tersebut daripada masjid yang saya katakan daripada Saha tadi, iaitu di Mekah 1,000 meter dan di Madinah 500 meter. Kemudian untuk jangka masa panjang, mungkin dalam kira 20 tahun, harganya mesti kompetitif. Secara puratanya kita tidak boleh membayar lebih daripada apa yang kita tabung haji bayar setakat ini.
She also said that the facilities aspects and access to the Holy Mosque in Mecca need to be looked into in detail before making any decision. The review of occupational safety and health, or OSH standards, which is made from time to time, are among several actions taken by the Human Resources Ministry to reduce the rate of occupational accidents. Now, speaking in Parliament today, Human Resources Deputy Minister Dato' Mahfuz Omar revealed that the construction sector recorded the highest number of fatalities with 166 deaths, followed by the manufacturing sector with 131 deaths.
Pindaan Akta Keselamatan dan Kesihatan Pekerjaan 1994 yang antara lainnya ialah untuk memperjelaskan tentang tanggungjawab majikan, pekerja dan orang-orang yang kompeten serta meningkatkan kadar penalti yang maksimum. Sekarang ni penalti terlalu rendah. Jadi kita akan bawa satu pembentangan selepas ini. Kemudian juga berkaitan dengan tentang garis-garis panduan yang setakat ini dia bersifat garis panduan, iaitu Guideline of Occupational Safety and Health in Construction Industry Management 2017 ataupun ringkasnya OSHIM. Ini akan dikuatkuasakan dan dijadikan undang apabila pindaan itu nanti.
Based on 2018 provisional data, out of 14.85 million employees in the country, a total of 611 work-related deaths were recorded nationwide. The number dropped by 14% as compared to 711 deaths in 2017. The Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture has denied that an exhibition of paintings featuring famous Japanese animated character Doraemon will be used to promote and become part of the attraction for Visit Malaysia 2020. Its Minister, Dato' Muhammadin Ketapi, says the statement made by the National Art Gallery Chairman, Dato' Rashidi Hasbullah, was merely his personal view and is not agreed upon by the Ministry to promote the campaign. In a statement released today, Dato' Muhammadin said he never approved any promotional activities involving Japanese cartoon characters and they are totally excluded from the promotion. He was responding to a news report that has gone viral, quoting Dato' Rashidi as saying that an art exhibition featuring Doraemon can help to promote Malaysia to the world and may have it held during Visit Malaysia 2020. The minister added that if he really wanted to pick a popular cartoon character, he will pick one made in Malaysia instead of from other countries. The construction of the East Coast Rail Link or ECRL project will not neglect the local people, especially in economic and entrepreneurial activities. Terengganu Menteri Besar Dr. Ahmad Samsuri Mokhtar says the local people, especially small contractors, will be given priority in various areas, including supply of food and electrical items, which would boost the state economy. Dr. Ahmad Samsuri said this was decided in the discussion he had with the Chief Operations Officer of the Malaysia Rail Link Sdn Bhd MRL at the office of the Menteri Besar in Wisma Darul Iman yesterday.
Itu penentuan terakhir itu dan masih lagi perlu ada perbincangan dengan pihak kerajaan negeri dan kita telah menubuhkan suatu jawatankuasa bersama dengan mereka untuk kita perhalusi pelbagai perkara termasuklah isu pengambil alihan tanah, isu-isu kelulusan untuk kerja-kerja di peringkat kerajaan tempatan dan sebagainya.
Commenting further, Dr. Ahmad Samsuri said the people in the state should not worry about the influx of workers from China when the ECRL project is resumed, as those who are brought in are only the consultants.
Will bring about huge...
The Malaysia External Trade Development Corporation, or MATRADE, is targeting sales of up to 650 million ringgit with its participation at the 16th China ASEAN Exposition, or CA Expo, scheduled to be held in Nanning, China from the 20th to the 23rd of September. Now, this confidence was based on the total volume of transactions during the previous expo, which reached 640 million, an increase of 58% over the previous year. Co-sponsored by the International Trade and Industry Ministry and the People's Republic of China Ministry of Commerce and ASEAN Business Authorities, this year's CA Expo, with the theme of co-building the Belt and Road and jointly drawing the vision of cooperation, will work closely with all the organizing parties of ASEAN and take effective measures to ensure it is more successful than previous ones.
China is an important market for us. Our trade is the largest export market for 10 consecutive years and still growing at about 8% yearly. Yet there are still a lot more for us to uncover. And when there is already a platform where all ASEAN member countries plus China providing us this good platform where there's a lot of activities, business matching, and that's why we see the importance of this event. That's why
as one of the three major exhibitions supported by the Chinese government, Malaysia attaches great importance to the CA Expo and has participated in the Expo for 15 consecutive years. This year, Malaysia will continue to use the D13 pavilion with an exhibition area estimated to exceed 3,200 square meters. Mayangkasa AZ Zahra Sdn Bhd will be offering 379 residential units in Tower B and Tower C of the Datum Jelatik residences under a rent-to-own RTO initiative for civil servants. Its director, Muhammad Shahrul, said civil servants who have failed to obtain loan approval from financial institutions or have high liability and deposit problems are eligible to submit their rental property applications under the initiative.
Government servants cannot own very expensive properties today, especially the city. So we come up with a scheme where they pay rent, where the rent is actually paying up for the equity.
Muhammad Shahrul said this after attending the signing ceremony between Datum Corp Corporation Sdn Bhd and Mayangkasa AZ Zahra Sdn Bhd in Kuala Lumpur today. The event was also attended by Selangor Menteri Besar Amiruddin Shari. 39,349 voters, of which 270 are early voters, have received their voter cards which aim to facilitate the polling process at the Sandakan constituency's upcoming by-election in May. In a statement released, the Election Commission EC said the card contains information on voting centres, voting channels, dates and time of voting. The Sandakan parliamentary by-election has been set for 7th of May for early voters, while polling day will take place on May 11th. The EC reiterated that voters are still required to bring their identity card aside from their voter card. Voters who have not received their voter cards can check through the EC portal at www.spr.gov.my or the My SPR Semak application by entering their identity card number at 15888 or call the EC at 03-8892-7018. Ready to experience Wembley of Malaysia in Bukit Jalil. As expected, two of the country's brightest athletes, Muhammad Rafiq Ismail and Amy Kwan Dick Wing, bagged the top honours after being named Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year at the 2018 National Sports Awards last night. Rafiq was honoured for his achievements last year, where he won the World Championships gold medal in Hong Kong, delivering Malaysia's first win at the event since 1979. He also won the Masters title at the Jakarta Palembang Asian Games. Rafiq defeated 8 other strong contenders who included last year's winner Azizul Hasni Awang and World Bodybuilding and Physics Sports Champion Muhammad Sharul Azman Mahin Abdullah. Meanwhile, rhythmic gymnast Amy Kwan bagged the highest award in the women's category for her achievements last year at the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games, where she won 1 gold, 1 silver and 2 bronzes. She defeated close contenders including squash player S. Siva Sangari, who won silver and bronze from the Asian Games, bodybuilder Tan Li Lian, who took multiple gold medals at the WBPF World Bodybuilding and Physics Sports Championships, as well as lawn bowler Siti Zalina Ahmad and bowler Siti Safia Amira Abdul Rahman. The prizes were given away by His Majesty the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al Sultan Abdullah Riyatuddin Al Mustafa Billah Shah. The Malaysia Stadium Corporation, or PSM, will soon be partnering with the Football Association of Malaysia, FAM, to create a Wembley Stadium experience at the Kuala Lumpur Sports City, KLSC, in Bukit Jalil. PSM board member Razi Tajuddin said that PSM and FAM would be making an official announcement on their collaboration sometime in May.
The people on the table. We are actually has been talking with FAM, and we are going to announce very soon about our partnership. But the idea is that I cannot disclose it at the moment, but something big is coming up between probably in a month. We try to finalize some minor details, but the idea is to make this place as a Wembley of Malaysia.
Meanwhile, PSM Chairman Tan Sri Tony Fernandez said he is very optimistic on making KLSC the Wembley of Malaysia, where it could generate income for the country. He said PSM wish to build more Wembley-like experiences inside the stadium, with great restaurants, merchandise shops and even entertainment. Commenting further, Tony said he wanted to make the stadium not just a place for sporting events, but also concerts, conferences or anything that could generate income for the nation.
What PSM is doing is making sure we look after the stadium. And so whoever's the next chairman, whoever's the next board, doesn't have to spend billions to refurbish it. Malaysia is great at building things, then we don't look after it. And then it falls apart, right? And then another major renovation. So we've got a great world-class facility here. We must build a culture that people look after these facilities.
Malaysia Cup 2018 champions Perak are still struggling to get going in the Super League this season after drawing 3-3 against Kuala Lumpur at the Kuala Lumpur Football Stadium in Cheras last night. With a point earned by each team, Perak move up 1 spot to 8th place, while Kuala Lumpur sits above Felda United in 11th place. The match tonight also saw both teams playing with 10 players in the final third of the match after red cards were shown to Kuala Lumpur's Luke Woodland in the 57th minute and Nazirul Naim Hashim from the opposing team 7 minutes later. Perak took the lead in the 7th minute after defender Zaiful Abdul Hakim's own goal, but Indra Putra Mahayuddin's team got the equaliser in the 21st minute. The Boss Gaurus went back ahead after Leandro Dos Santos calmly converted a penalty in the 29th minute. The City Boys' prolific striker, Giram Pola, ensured both teams went into the break level as he slotted in from the penalty spot in the 44th minute after being fouled by Idris Ahmad. Kuala Lumpur came out in second half more energised. A red card issued against Naziro saw Paulo Josu stepped up with a superb effort from a free kick, which saw them go ahead in the 65th minute. However, Kuala Lumpur's winning hopes were dashed after goalkeeper Muhammad Farizuan failed to control Gilmar's header before Muhammad Nur Hakim tapped the ball into the net. And that's it from us in our top story. No Malaysian links to Sri Lanka attacks detected so far. Join us again at 12:30 p.m. for more updates on the latest happenings around the world. I'm Jessica Lee. Thank you for watching.